What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. I got a great question the other day talking about how do I test products with Facebook ads for my dropshipping store, right? So this is specifically testing products for physical products with e-com brands. So today's video, I'm gonna break down exactly how I've been doing this, how I've generated millions of dollars in sales using this exact testing strategy. I'm using this in my stores currently, and I'm teaching my students inside of our Insiders program exactly how to do this. So I wanna show this with you so that you can start testing products properly and start finding hot winners that you can then scale, especially since we're moving into Q4. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. All right, guys, so in today's video, we're gonna talk about product testing, right? So specifically, this is all around how I set up my testing campaigns to test new products, whether that's on a brand new store, whether that's introducing new products to my current stores, my current brands. This is the exact same method that I'm using that you can use as well. So the first thing that we want to be considering is that we're starting off with running a sales campaign, right? So we always want to start with running a sales campaign, especially for e-com when we're selling things, right? So you need to be starting off with a sales campaign, which is going to bring you into structuring your campaign. So we want to be working with CBOs only. Now you can work with ABOs. I only work with CBOs, so that's what I'm showing you here. So CBO specifically, or as it's called now, Advantage Plus budget. So you're going to turn on that CBO and run the budget at the campaign level. So the next thing is that you always want to be optimizing for purchases. And stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to show you the exact campaign structure that I'm using and draw it out for you so that you can see firsthand how you need to be setting it up as well. So the last thing here is that we want to be working with lowest cost as well. So lowest cost or highest volume. So lowest cost, highest volume, you can work with things like cost caps, bid caps, so on and so forth, but that's not what I use. That's not what you need to be using, especially if you're just starting out. You want to be working with lowest cost or highest volume. So let's go down and talk about the next setup. Okay, so you might want to wonder, okay, how do I set my budget now that we've set up CBO? So your budget should be 2 times your break-even cost per purchase. So I'll explain this real simply. This is just a baseline metric that you can use. You can set your budget however you want to. Spending more money is just going to collect you data faster. It's also going to be a little bit higher risk. So you can also go with a lower budget, let it run longer, but 2 times your break-even cost per purchase is typically what I like to start with. So if you're selling a product for, let's say $40 and it costs you $10 to keep it easy, that means that $30 is your break-even cost per purchase that you can spend to acquire a customer and not lose money, break even, right? So you want to times that by 2, and then this would be your budget for the campaign just to start out. So $60 budget on that campaign, and we're going to run 2 campaigns when testing a product, and I'll get into that, why we're doing that, how we're structuring that. So the next thing is that you might start going through your settings, and you want to make sure that dynamic creative testing, or DCT, it's now called flexible ads, is turned off. So I don't like to use DCTs when first initially testing products. I like to set up my ads the traditional way, so not using DCTs. So the next thing that we're going to look at is our locations. So where should you be advertising to? How should you set your locations? And this completely depends on your business, right? If you're drop shipping and you're using, a China-based 3PL, you can basically ship anywhere in the world except for obviously low-tier countries. So there is a tier 1 list that I like to use, and if you guys want to know what that tier 1 list is, just comment tier 1 down in the comments down below, and I'll send that over to you to use in your own campaigns. But you can set your locations to wherever you're advertising to, wherever you want to. Some people prefer to sell in the United States, some people prefer to sell in European countries. It depends on you and your business, so set it up accordingly. So the next thing is that you want to be using the original, because Facebook has changed things. So now you can use either original audience segmentation or audience setup, or you can use the Advantage Plus setup. When you're initially starting, you definitely want to be using the original. So you can toggle that inside of the actual ad set setup. So you want to be using your original setup so that you can change the age, the gender, the interests, and set that how you want to. And then that goes into our interests. So we're going to be testing between interests and broad targeting. Now, a lot of people in the space will say, oh, if you're not targeting just broad only, then you're not advertising right in 2024. That's the furthest thing from the truth. If you're just starting out and you're launching a new ad account with a new pixel and you don't have a lot of data, you want to split between interest targeting and broad targeting. And basically the difference is you are setting and sending Facebook in a specific direction when using interest targeting. So say you're selling this water bottle, for example, right? And you tell it, hey, I want to target everybody who's interested in water bottles, and keep it common sense. You're going to be pushing Facebook's algorithm towards those people that you already know will have an interest in buying your product based on common sense interest targeting. Now you want to split test that with broad, because a lot of times the algorithm is so powerful nowadays, depending on your account, how it's structured, and basically how your account wants to play out, is you can target broad targeting from day one as well, and let Facebook try and find you buyers based on what it thinks will be your customer base. But when you're not using, or you don't have a bunch of data and you're using a fresh ad account, you want to be split testing interests and broad targeting from day one. So interests, keep them very common sense, right? So I'll write common here. So common sense targeting would be if you're selling a water bottle. Common sense interest would be people interested in water bottles, right? You can also target people interested in specific water bottle brands if you can't find common sense interest targeted towards that product. Or you can look at where people would be using a water bottle, like possibly the gym, going out for a run, hiking, so on and so forth. But keep things as common sense as you possibly can if the interests are there, right? Water bottle, find interests that are specific about water bottles, right? So start with common sense interests if you are rocking interests in the beginning. So the next thing is that you want to be structuring your campaigns with auto placements. So it used to be called auto placements in the past. Again, they're changing everything to Advantage Plus placements. So it's called Advantage Plus placements. It's auto placements. You want to just use that from day one and set things up that way. Okay guys, and real quick before we get into the rest of the video, I just want to ask that if you got any value from this video at all, I just want to ask that you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it helps me get this out to more people, provide videos, and keeps me motivated to do this for you guys. So smash that like button down below and subscribe if you're not already. And if you want to take things one step further, I just want to invite you to join our private ecom group. It's going to be, the link is going to be in the description. This is where you're going to be able to ask me, my business partner, other members inside that group, and people who are on the same journey as you or ahead of you in your journey, questions directly day to day, and get answers to those questions each and every day. This is one of the most valuable things that we've ever established, and people are absolutely crushing it inside of our community. We have members doing 5K days, 10K days, even members doing over $20,000 a day in sales, and you can get access to the info that we're providing to all of our members inside of that, and that link's gonna be right down in the description. You can get access for literally $1 starting today. So that's gonna be down in the description. Hopefully I'll see you guys inside the group, but without any further ado, let's get into the rest of the video. All right guys, so now in this section of the video, I'm gonna go over the structure and draw it out for you guys so you guys can see a visual. I'm a visual learner, you might be a visual learner, so now we can go into actually setting up the structure and how your ad account and campaigns should be set up. So again, just kind of like I explained before, we're gonna start out with a CBO campaign, right? So this is gonna be the campaign. And then inside this campaign, you're gonna set up 3 to 5 ad sets. So I'm just gonna draw it out for you here. So in each of these ad sets, you're gonna go through and set them up the way that I just explained, but you're going to set up each one with an individual interest in this campaign. So if we're running 3 interests, 3 ad sets, each interest is going to be separate, and you're only going to run 1 interest per ad set. So this is going to segment them and split that, and then the budget is going to be allocated accordingly to those ad sets based on the performance as you start spending, right? So this is the best way to set this up and start testing directly interests. And now, if we go into the next campaign, is you're going to set up the exact same campaign structure, the CBO, everything that we had talked about, and now you're going to set up your broad targeting. Now we're only going to use 2 ad sets for this broad targeting CBO, and we're going to run broad only. So this is no interest. So in the interest section to run broad targeting, it's just no interest. You get rid of that interest, right? And you only leave it to run as broad, no interests. The next ad set in this campaign is going to be a broad interest, and then you're just going to toggle the Advantage Plus option on. And that's it. That's the only difference between these 2 ad sets in this campaign. So you see here that you will run both of these campaigns. They're both CBOs. One is targeting interests, one is targeting broad targeting, and you're splitting them up in that sense, right? So you're gonna have these two campaigns. They're each gonna be running at, for this example, 60 bucks a day, or whatever you feel comfortable with. If you feel comfortable with $30 a day, $50 a day, $100 a day, doesn't really matter, but honestly, anything over 100 bucks a day is kind of overkill if you're just testing one product at a time. So you can set up just like that, right? So now we're gonna be spending $120 a day to test this product, and you should be able to get a good idea of how the performance of this product is playing out in the first 24 hours of spend. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be profitable in the first 24 hours of spend. You just have to be looking for metrics that are what your target is, right? So we're looking at our cost per click, we're looking at our click-through rate, we're also checking out our CPM, and if we're getting any purchases or buying intent. Buying intent meaning people are adding to cart or initiating checkout but might not be purchasing yet. We just want to be firing these events so that Facebook can start to take that data, allocate it to finding other similar customers, and optimize as we go. So I'm gonna break down an entire video. It's gonna be inside of our program. It's gonna be inside of our insiders group where you can see exactly what metrics to look at, how to look at those metrics and make decisions based on your advertising. We host live calls every single week on the week. We've got one today at 2:30 that I'm jumping on, as well as my business partner, and going over live info just like this for you guys to take advantage of and use inside your own businesses. So again, that link's gonna be down in the description. It's only $1 to get access to today for your first 30 days where you can talk to me, my business partner, and everybody else inside the community to help you reach your goals. So go down in the description, click that link, join in, and we'll speak with you guys inside that group.